YouTube as well. Perfect. Okay, let us know how the audio is. YouTube, we should be live on YouTube as well. I see Mars here. I see Beach here. I see Subham. I see GV.
Chris is here.
Chris is here. Oh, is he? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's RPG.
John
Remember?
Brown is saying on Facebook is saying hi guys. All right, guys, let us know. Is the audio okay? Is the audio good? Oh yeah, Chris. I see Chris as well. Good thing we have Mud here. All right, perfect. All right, let's just jump into it, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Mike,
First
wait,
bit of news.
let me just see. Facebook, Mike, Alexandru. Hi guys. Okay, let's start.
Yeah, first bit of news is out of Germany. A German court finds 7 men who claimed to be Sharia police. A German court has found 7 men who formed a self-styled Sharia police guilty of violating rules on wearing uniforms. German news agency DPA reported that a court on Monday fined the men aged between 27 and 37. The penalties ranging from 300 euros to 1,800 euros. The group took to the street of the western city of Wuppertal in 2014, dressed in orange vests bearing the words Sharia Police, handing out leaflets declaring the area a Sharia-controlled zone where alcohol, music, and pornography were banned under Islam's Sharia law. So this did happen back in 2014, and if you're wondering why it's news now, they were originally let go. It was found in their first trial that them wearing vests didn't constitute, them trying to become figures of authority. So then the courts actually appealed that and had them taken back to court to have this new sentence put upon them.
Wait, they only getting charged so between 300 euros and 1,800 euros, right? So that's 330
right.
Between $335 to around $2,000, I guess, right? But that's it. Like they're not gonna get like jail time or anything like that.
No.
Are these people? Okay, so these are Muslims. Are they like what? Are they immigrants or are they born in Germany? Do you know anything?
That was not established.
Right.
They didn't release that bit of information on them, but they were acquitted actually. And this is what's crazy to any Americans probably listening to this is once you're acquitted of a crime, like you can't just go back and get charged again. But they were acquitted in 2016 because the judges found that the vests couldn't be classified as a uniform and they weren't intimidating. But I'm sorry if you're wandering the streets handing out pamphlets telling people if you drink alcohol or watch pornography, and I don't know how they'd know if you're watching pornography on the streets, but if you do that here, you're obviously going to be punished because we're the police. That is intimidating, I think. I don't know.
Wait, okay, so the uniforms are the problem. What about the threats and the harassment? Like you're basically threatening people that there's consequences to drinking alcohol in this area. Isn't that a crime?
That's not what they're being charged for, no.
Yeah, but I know they're not. But so they're only being charged because they were wearing uniforms that made them look like police, I guess, right? And then they got they got let go because it wasn't that similar to police. You're saying?
Well, the uniforms weren't necessarily classified for police wear because they're on their uniforms, on their vest. It said Sharia Police. So that is just obvious.
Okay, but I think there should be more charges. There should be like intimidation of people, harassment. That's like,
I mean, while their vests weren't intimidating, their presence and then threatening people who wanted alcohol or pornography, that was
these people are so ungrateful. Like they are in Germany, one of the most liberal countries in the world, and they want to like, what do you want? Do you want it to turn it into a shithole? Well, go live somewhere else then. Like, these are not only they are taking advantage of a society that is way more advanced than any country that has Sharia police in it. Instead of being thankful, you want to turn it into a country where people fled from and come to Germany. Like, what the? Honestly, like, if the government is not taking this seriously enough to like punish them properly, I think there should be like secular people in Germany should just go to this zone and have like, here's how you respond to this, okay? Gay people of Germany just invade this area and just go have make out publicly in this area. Like you need to have like 500 couples, gay couples there with bacon and alcohol making out, and just turn this into a gay make out zone, okay? Just like that needs to be a reaction for them to be like, what have we done? Like just make this, turn it into their worst nightmare, right? Like I don't understand. You can't let these things happen. Do you know if how people are reacting to this? Like if they want to intimidate you with like you know pamphlets and calling this alcohol free zone, you need to react in a legal way. And I think kissing in public, gay couples having bacons in the streets, and actually drinking in public is illegal in Germany, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, but also so is watching pornography or walking down the
Okay,
street.
so
So I
don't
mean,
drink. If drinking in public is illegal, forget that. Go there with your bacon sandwiches, okay? And making out in public is not, illegal in Germany. So just go there and just turn this into a very gay-friendly zone, right? Just react in a legal way, but in a way that these people will find as an attack, right? What do you think? Is that a good idea to, just take over this neighborhood? Like
I don't know.
you
That's
can't let them,
scary.
you can't let these people, like they are taking over. Like this is like this should be treated as an invasion. I think this should be treated like as a cultural invasion of part of your city. Which city was this in? You know? I don't know,
Mm,
whatever it is, it's a cultural invasion and you have to take it back. You have to take it back. If the police is not going to take it seriously, you have to take it back with legally with things that they see as an attack, but
Vapatal.
legally is not considered an attack. Like don't assault of it. Like be careful. Like some people are going to try to overreact. Be careful. Like don't. I'm pretty sure like some far right people would, if they want to react to this, they're gonna like go and try to make things even worse. So don't do that. React. In fact, they would love that. If some far right people want to go there and react, they're gonna just make things worse because then they're gonna react, and then the Muslims want to react, and then the far right wants to react to their reaction. So don't do that, right? Attack them in a way that de-escalates things. Like because the Muslims like this, for example, they would love for the far right to attack them because now it's war. Like this is like these people want like tensions. So the kind of attacks that the far right does, that's what they want because they want more tension, right? But the kind of attack that I'm suggesting, like just going out and have the next pride parade over there in their fucking neighborhood. Oh, I was trying not to swear. Um, in their neighborhood, like that's not the kind of attack that they want. And given that that's not the kind of attack that they want, you know what kind of attack you should do. This is how you react to this stuff like this, right?
Right.
Let me see what the top comment is. Merrily is saying so much hate on this site. I am seeing a connection between religion and hate, and anti-religion and hate. Hate is fear. People crawl out of your hate world. It will eat you up and continue to infect the world around you. I don't know what she's referring to. Is she referring to some other comments here? Are you talking about some other comments on the page? I don't know which ones you're
We
talking.
actually get that a lot though,
Yeah.
Armin. We get told that all the time through our message board, through our email, that whenever we share stuff like this, they say that we're the hateful ones for doing that. And it's clearly because we hate people that we're sharing this kind of news.
No, I mean, if I don't know if she's referring to just us posting about this news, which is ridiculous if you think that's hateful, but if you're referring to the comments here, I think if you generalize anti-religious people the same way people generalize Muslims, then you're part of the problem. If you see like people that are anti-religious and you see some comments that are hateful, and then you see like, oh, I see so much hate in the atheist movement, then you're basically doing the same kind of generalization that people do with Christians and Muslims, and you're actually part of the problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you expected for the atheist community to be all rainbows and butterflies and people no hate coming, everybody in the atheist community to be more mature and everybody to be intelligent and not hateful, then I mean, and not everybody to be intelligent. The fact that you think that is actually proof that no, not everybody in the atheist community is very intelligent. Um, Taran is saying the Sharia policeman must be deported to the country that follows Sharia law. There are many. I don't think that's a good. I mean, we don't know who these people are. Are they citizens? Were they born in Germany? If they were, then they shouldn't be. That's illegal for you to deport people just because they committed the crime. If they're German citizens, in fact, if you want to do that, then you yourself are not respecting German laws, which is exactly what these people did. I think if they are here and they are immigrants and they have a crime, they do commit a crime, then that would be grounds for deporting them, because now you're not a citizen and you should be deported because you broke the law, so you shouldn't be able to stay here anymore. But if they are citizens, even if you don't like their religions, they should be able to stay. That's the law.
Right.
Let me see. Oliver's comment is too long. I can't read that. That's going to stay here forever. B just saying, if you say you are the police, that should be considered impersonation. Yeah, I mean, unless you're an actor and shooting a movie, then you actually go and get a permit for that. Chris is saying, don't forget to have the women wear short shorts at their and their hair flowing free. Yeah, but I know that. Yeah, they get offended by that, but if you have like gay people keep making out in the streets there, that's what's really gonna get them, right? Just take over that territory with gay love. Chuck is saying, Armin, could you make a video about how religion? Oh, guys, please make the comments and questions relevant to what we're talking about. If you want us to talk about something after the live stream is over, leave a comment on the video. All right, Ali, did you want to add anything?
In our live chat, we had somebody say that making out in public is not appropriate because it shows shamelessness.
Good. Do that. Do it more. That's the reason why you should do it more. Be shameless. Yeah. Be shameless. Shame is not good. If that shows shamelessness, that's good. That's a good reason to make out in public. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Do it.
Actually, that was a case for doing it more then. All right. Next news.
Next news is out of Saudi Arabia. This former U.S. pastor converted to Islam after living in Saudi Arabia. Samuel Earl Shropshire, an American pastor turned Muslim preacher, has revealed the inspiration behind his embracing Islam, the people of Saudi Arabia. He shared the story behind his conversion to Islam in an interview published on a semi-official Saudi news website last week. Shropshire now lives in Saudi Arabia, saying that living among the kingdom's good people and witnessing their hospitality and good morals majorly contributed to his decision to become a Muslim. So more about this guy. This guy is 70 years old, okay? And he was actually nervous to go to Saudi Arabia because he had heard from U.S. media that Muslims over there would not treat Christians very well. So he said when he got over there and people treated him really well, it inspired him to learn more about their religion, and he really felt God's presence in a mosque. And so now he's somebody who goes over there. He's not an imam or anything like that, but he goes over there and he still teaches and preaches Islam. So I think this is kind of outlandish to me. You spend 70 years of your life in one religion, and because people are nice to you, you just hop to another. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he should go to the Chop Chop Square and see if he still wants to stay Muslim. Like, he went to the worst part of the Islamic world and he decided that, this is what I want. I mean, this is Saudi Arabia's Islam is the kind of Islam that other Muslims say, like, no, that's not real Islam. That's a horrible version of Islam. And this guy went over there and he was like, yeah, I like this. Maybe I don't, but again, that's not fair, because if you go to Saudi Arabia or Iran or wherever, it really depends. Your experience really depends on who you're hanging out with and which part of the city you are and who are talking to you. So I don't know if this guy should go watch one of those public executions and let me see what he thinks after that in Saudi Arabia. But the Muslims, many Muslims, again, I don't want to talk generally, love white converts, right? This guy is a white convert. He's a former pastor. This is like a huge win for them. You could have 1,000 people, 1,000 normies leaving Islam and becoming ex-Muslims. they will, if one guy like this becomes a Muslim, they'll take it. This is a huge win. Like this guy must be like, people must be treating him like a king over there now because he's such a great PR for them. Like this is like proof how beautiful Islam. If you just consider it, just read the Quran once, just once, you can't resist to become a Muslim. This is what they tell you, right? And
Right.
this will be proof. Like, look, this guy was a pastor. He was obviously passionate about Christianity. 70 years he was a Christian, and he just came to Saudi Arabia, and now he's a Muslim. This is proof to how, they will share, like anybody could become a Muslim if they just stop listening to the media, all these people
Right.
talking shit about Islam. No, just come and you just see the beauty of Islam. Look at this guy. So they did just love this guy, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep sharing this story and using it as an example. The only way this could have been a better story for them to share if this man was a woman, right? Then they would like, if it was a white woman, former Christian convert to Islam, is like this. That's their wet dream, right? Um, yeah, but this is good enough, I think, for many of them.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see. Anne is saying instantly. Oh no, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I don't think it's fair. I mean, who said that? That was Einstein. Is that an Einstein quote?
I don't
I
know.
I think it's an Einstein quote. Uh, if it just remember, that's not really the definition of insanity when it comes to mental health professionals. And just because somebody is religious, that doesn't mean they're insane. In fact, it would be more excusable if the people. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I don't know much about mental health, but I'm just saying, don't call people insane. Don't use mental health labels as a way to insult people because I don't think most people understand how mental health works. In fact, you could hold people more responsible for their actions if you don't think they're insane. Alan saying he just wanted easier access to young boys for sure. Oh my god, no, Alan, not for sure at all. You have no idea who this guy is and what his motivations are, because you've never met him or you've never talked to him. Bob is saying from one delusion to another. Yeah, yep, good comment. Let me see what the YouTube comments are. GV saying, is it easier to convert a Christian to Islam or a Muslim to Christianity? Well, it really depends on which. It really depends on the specific circumstances. I can't give a general answer to that. Chuck is saying, didn't ISIS did a lot of damage to Islam propaganda? Yeah, I mean, in fact, a lot of people the number of ex-Muslims grew because of ISIS. Like a lot of people. And I don't think it's the best argument against Islam, because people could say like, well, ISIS is not. I mean, the best way to the best argument against Islam is that there's no evidence for any of his claims. That's as simple as that. But yeah, it's true that ISIS did cause a lot of people to leave Islam. Subham is saying religious people are easier to fool. They are really gullible for a start. They would believe almost anything. I don't think it's fair to generalize all religious people like that. I also think that some people are extremely smart about something and extremely dumb about something else, because people can compartmentalize. You could be like, in fact, somebody could be extremely religious and accept all the nonsense of religious belief, but they could really be able to detect scam artists, right? Like maybe they have never been conned about anything else in their life, and they're actually an expert at detecting people lying to them. So just because somebody is religious and gullible about accepting religious beliefs, that doesn't mean they're always going to be gullible about everything else. But it might suggest there might be a correlation. It's just not absolute. It's not just you know, just because you're religious, therefore don't make generalized comments. I mean, you could say more religious people are more gullible. That might be accurate, but you can't say religious people are gullible, because I think you will be able to find examples doesn't that suggest otherwise. Let me see. The Australian Atheist Club is saying they are all full on God's followers everywhere. It's on loudspeakers every day. The call to prayer. Everyone religious. He will fit right in. Secretly, he knows it's all BS. I don't know if you guys can say that, guys. Like, secretly, he knows that this is all BS, this pastor. No, he might actually believe in this nonsense. We don't know the guy. We can't just assume. Don't just, even mental health professionals don't make judgment calls like this on people over online. They don't even know what people's motivations are and what people actually believe in and what don't believe in unless they meet with them and talk to them for hours. So, given that we're not mental health professionals, just by hearing that, a lot of us haven't even, a lot of the people that are commenting haven't even clicked on the article. It's just, they're just deciding what they know, all they know about this guy just by the title of this news. You should be a little bit skeptical about the things that you decide you believe. Did you, Ali, do you want to add anything?
No.
By the way, Ali is, you are a mental health professional, aren't you?
No, I'm not a mental health professional. I went to school for psychology, but I don't have any certificates or anything like that. No.
Okay. All right, cool. Next news.
Next news again is out of Germany. A German official says he cannot recommend Jews wear head coverings in some parts of the country. Felix Klein, the government's anti-Semitism commissioner, was quoted Saturday as saying, "I cannot recommend to Jews that they wear the skull cap at all times everywhere in Germany." He didn't elaborate on what places and times might be risky. Israel's president said Sunday he is shocked by a German official's comment that he wouldn't advise Jews to wear skull caps in parts of the country, which is drawing mixed reactions from home. Government statistics released earlier this month showed that the number of anti-Semitic and anti-foreigner incidences rose in Germany in the last year. So this actually pulled a lot of attention from a lot of different people across Germany, Israel, and surrounding places, where they're shocked that this guy would say, "I can't recommend that Jews wear their skull caps at all times everywhere in Germany." Well, I mean, right now, Germany has a huge rise in crime against Jews, and
because of the rise of the Muslim population.
Right, and then Klein, the guy who made this comment, specifically said he made this comment knowing it would be edgy, so people would start talking about why Jews can't do these things.
So he himself didn't mention Muslim or anything. He just said the Jews are not safe anymore, and he's like, I'm not gonna say why, but wink, wink, not you guys know why, right? And he just knew I'm gonna say this, and I know that people are gonna comment and mention why, right? Is that right? But he's not being he thinks this is edgy. He's not even mentioning why, and he thinks that's edgy.
Right, exactly. Well, and that's the thing, is he wanted this to spark outrage with a lot of people saying, well, how can this guy sit around and say the Jews shouldn't do this? They shouldn't do this. Well, he's doing it for the safety of the people. And if they won't listen to him, and if they won't listen to statistics, because maybe statistics are racist, then there's a big problem. And he needs people to start debating and talking about why it wouldn't be safe for a Jew to wear their skull cap in certain places in Germany.
But I'm actually, so who is this guy? It's Felix. So he's the German government's anti-Semitism commissioner. Okay, so this guy, in this article, does it say Muslim anywhere in this article?
No.
So because he's scared to say it, right? Because it's Germany and you can't say stuff. Okay, can you double check?
I'm going to double check.
It's time.
But I don't recall it.
Well, it's not in the summary that the Atheist Republic team prepared for us.
Right.
But double
check. I read and research the news, and I don't recall. Yeah, looking over it now, I didn't see anywhere.
Nothing. Okay, so the guy is scared. The guy knows that he's probably going to lose his job if he says Jews are not safe in Germany because you know what, no, if you say that, you're going to lose your job.
Right.
Let me see. German official, obvious anti-Semite. What? No, I guess they forgot to never forget. I'm surprised nobody in our comment section is mentioning this way. So here, Germany is they didn't have enough to. Nope. So a lot of people are not pointing out why this is happening. Huh, interesting. So nobody
Or
pointed
live
that out.
chat,
Well,
they're talking about why it's happening right now. Renzo is saying it's partly because of Muslims, but the recent rise of ultra nationalist right is also to blame for making anti Semitism more acceptable in Germany.
right, but it's mostly because of. So Renzo is saying it's partly because of Muslims. I would argue it's mostly because of the Muslim. Again, hashtag not all Muslims, right? But I mean, people. I don't know if anybody denies this. Then I don't know what to tell you. The amount of anti-Semitic views is way, 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 way higher in by average in Muslim communities than European communities. Okay, it just is. Okay, I don't know. You could deny that. That's just a fact. Okay, so yes, European communities also have anti-Semitic views, especially in the alt-right. But it's the average of that is way higher in the Muslim communities. So when you say the average is higher, that doesn't mean every Muslim is anti-Semitic. That just means more Muslims means more anti-Semitic views. That's just fact. I don't know. People are going to get upset over that, but that's just how it is. Moose is saying, why do you think all this hate is happening? Uh, well, Moose, that's part of human nature, tribalism. I don't know how much time do you have, but it's less than before, Moose. It's not like, I mean, has been part of human history forever, and in fact, it's less than ever before in our history. So don't be too upset about that. Renzo is saying, in fact, the German government blamed the rise of anti-Semitism on the far right. Yeah, because the German government doesn't is too scared of their Muslim population to blame it on Muslims. Moose is saying Trump encourages. Moose, what does this got to do with this news? Trump encourages hate. This has nothing to do with Germany right now. Can please keep the comment on what we're talking about. Moose is very U.S. focused. Everything has to turn back to U.S. John Brown is saying, I think they should address the anti-Semitism rather than tell Jews not to openly display their faith. I mean, this guy is just. If you just want, if you, well, I mean, you could do both, right? I mean, this guy is not like, is not blaming the victim kind of thing, right? Like if I tell you to just be careful, there are dangerous people out there, does that mean that I think we shouldn't address the dangerous people out there? No, I mean, if you think people are going to be safer without this head covering, you might want to tell them because you care for them. I mean, come on, like we can't just because this guy is saying that, hey, so what? He shouldn't say that. If he thinks that without that you're going to be safer, he should avoid saying it, because the only thing you can say is we should fight anti-Semitic views in Germany. I mean, you can do both at the same time. I don't see why one should stop the other, right? Like, I think a lot of people are too quick to think that the victim is being asked to do much. Just because safety concerns are important, right? So, for example, if you teach women, if women to how to self-defense, does that mean that you're not blaming rapists, right?
Right.
Should you stop teaching women self-defense because the only thing you're allowed to do is to just only, fight against people raping? Do you know what I mean? That no, you could do that at the same time. You could like fight that and also teach people how to defend themselves, right? Anyways, Khalid is saying if you tell them you're not Muslim to save your life, Allah will understand. I don't know what you're saying, but okay. Okay, Ali, did you want to add anything?
No.
Okay, let's go to the next news.
Next news is out of India. A man shot in Bihar's Begusarai for Muslim name as attacker shouts, "Go back to Pakistan." Muhammad Kazim, a detergent salesman in Kumbi village, was allegedly shot after he was asked his name in Begusarai district of Bihar. He identified his attacker as Rajiv Yadav, and he said he was drunk at the time of the incident. In quotes, he says, I was stopped by Rajiv Yadav and he asked me my name. When I told him my name, he said, you should go back to Pakistan, and then shot me. The police have registered an FIR, but the accused has not been arrested yet. The AIMIM chief, Asauddin Asawi, blamed the BJP leadership for the brazen attack and said Muslims have been reduced to target practice in the country.
Yeah, so a lot of people ignore the way Muslims are treated in India because they're only obsessed with how Muslims are treated by Israel and in white countries, right? But this is one of the most populated countries in the world when it comes to Muslim population. Even though Muslims are a minority there, the country is so big that it still has more Muslims than most countries, right? And Muslims are now being treated like second-class citizens. And I know what Hindus like. As soon as this goes out, Hindus are going to come like, "Oh, fake news, fake news. This is fake news." Again, treat every single news that you get with some level of skepticism because we can't be sure if it's 100% accurate, right? We just go by Occam's razor and say this is probably true, but there's always a chance that something has been misreported. So just take that into account. But the amount of anti-Muslim discrimination in India is rising. The recent election is going to only make that worse. And every time we're going to bring attention to it, there's going to be both Hindus and culturally Hindu atheists that would deny this. A lot of anti-Islamic activists in India have lost their mind and now they have turned into anti-Muslim bigots instead of just anti-Islam. And they see all of this as fair and they see all of this as self-defense. We're going to call it out as we see it, and unfortunately I think it's going to increase. Let's see if Sobham has something to say about this.
Well, really quick before you get to what Subham has to say, because I think he's got some great things to say. But I just want to point out, like as you were saying, we're going to see this starting to rise. This is actually the third incident in the last week. 3 Muslim youths were thrashed by cow vigilantes in Madhya Pradesh on May 22nd over the suspicion that they were carrying beef. And on Saturday, a Muslim man in Gurugram was attacked by a gang that knocked off his skull cap and demanded that he chant Jai Shri Ram. So this is happening. And they're reporting this. People are finally. The problem is that there's a lot of people who are being attacked, and they are reporting this, but things aren't being happened, or the reports are getting lost. So from what we can see, this stuff has been on the rise. And even in the rise in the last week, we've seen 3 reports come out from Muslims saying, we're being attacked over here. So, I just wanted to throw that out there.
All right, what is Sobham saying?
He's saying that India has the 3rd largest Muslim population after Indonesia and Pakistan.
Yes, even though they're a minority, it's crazy. Like still, Muslims are a minority, but they're still the 3rd, number 3 when it comes to number of Muslims in one country, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, Subham also agrees that this kind of stuff is probably going to increase in the next 5 years due to the newest election, probably.
Right. Let me just see. By the way, I do want to do a. Ajahn is saying, just saw your video on Sikh night. Oh, guys, keep your comments on this, what we're talking about. Sobham is saying, 3rd reported incident. There are probably way more. Also, I did comment some news in the comment section from last week. Is Anna checking the comments, Ali?
She knows too, so I'll get with her and make sure.
I just want to do a correction. Let me actually, before I do that, let's look at the top comment. Nicholas is saying, it's funny how many Hindu nationalists crawled out of the woodwork here to justify this one. Yeah, that's what happens every time.
Last week, you and I reported on some news, and we've been getting emails and messages nonstop wanting to know why we're reporting fake news, why we're talking about Hindu atheists. So I just wanted to point that out there. So we're actually taking a brunt of this just for reporting just for reading something that somebody else even wrote. Yeah.
So just reporting on Hindu on Muslim crimes gets. I think some of these Hindus are the most sensitive. So the most sensitive people I've met that just reporting in news will make them go, comment and get angry, right? So I think Muslims are extremely sensitive. uh, regressive leftists, Trump supporters, and Hindu nationalists. All right, these are the people that could just lose their mind just by reporting the news. Right?
Right.
These are the four most sensitive groups I've met online. And yeah, but
Chris
it.
Hightower joined our chat. I
Oh
just want to say
yeah,
hi.
that's great. Let me see. Endrick NKK say. Oh, by the way, here's the excuse that Hindu nationalists will give. At least we will not cut your head off for criticizing us. And they
Right.
like as if that's a new standard. Like, oh,
There's a feather in your cap.
congratulations. Here's a medal for not beheading people. We should make a medal. We should actually make an actual medal, a medal for not wanting to behead people, and just like post a picture of it every time they say
Every time.
at least we don't behead people. Oh wow, congratulations for not beheading people.
For you.
Samson is saying too many Hindu atheists here. Yeah, Hindu atheists. I know a lot of people see that as a contradiction, but there are a lot of atheists that still consider themselves Hindu by culture that lose their mind every time we cover news like this. Oh look, this is Rudra is saying nice. This is probably one of those Hindu atheists is commenting, and the number one reaction he got is a heart. So he got 6 hearts for this, probably mostly by
Wow.
here, yeah, 6 hearts mostly by other Hindu nationalists. Jesus Christ, this is crazy. See, this is what the regressive lefts dream of happening in North America and in Europe. Like this is the rise of the alt-right. The real rise of the alt-right is mostly happening in India. And I'm pretty sure most of the regressive leftists are jealous because they want to be able to have something to complain about, and they wish this is. Anyways, we are saying this is fake. Oh, this is fake news. By look at this
Fake news.
fake
Yeah.
news by another Hindu nationalist. Of course, it's fake news because you don't like it. So wait, but how come these Hindu nationalists have to get their story straight, because half of them don't say this is fake news. They say this is the real news, but it's a good thing that happened. The other half is like, no, this is fake news. So is it? I don't know. It's
I don't know.
yeah. Muska is making fun of me because I mentioned Trump, so now I'm American centric. Oh, good. Yeah, okay, fair enough, Mus. Fair enough. You got
it.
Subhan is saying also Hindu extremists have killed people for eating beef. Yeah, we reported that last week, didn't we? GV saying soft bigotry has gone mainstream. Some of my relatives voted for BJP. For people that don't know, BJP is the Hindu Nationalist Party in India because they felt Hindus were losing their power in India. Yep, this is very unfortunately secularism and atheism and humanism is being defeated in India. It's getting shadier and shadier. Yeah, but yes, we do recognize that it's still better than Pakistan, but that's a very low standard. So you don't get a medal for that. I do want to go back to something that we mentioned in the previous news because Renzo, I think, is trying to correct us. Renzo is saying that according to where is that? The German government blamed the rise of the anti-Semitism on the far right. Wait, where is that 90% comment? Where did that go? There was a comment that Renzo is saying it's mostly the far right. Okay, here. According to the German Interior Minister, who has been very critical of Merkel's refugee policy, said that 90% of anti-Semitism crimes were by far right groups. Okay, but here's the thing. When you focus on the far right, it's kind of like going to Muslims and just focusing on ISIS or something like that, right? So instead of saying like Europeans, you compare Europeans to Muslim country population, right? That would be, if you compare European population to the Muslim population, then you will see more anti-Semitic views among Muslim population. But if you then focus on the alt-right and then compare that to Muslims, you're probably going to that's one of the definitions of being an alt-right is to being anti-Semitic. So you're going to see a higher percentage of anti-Semitic views in the alt-right. Okay? So, but I mean, but Rizzo's comment is fair. So it's good to point out that a lot of it is coming from alt right, but it's not. Mo- Most of the population of Europe is people that are European. So obviously, if you see more anti-Semitic views in total number wise, if you want to compare that, yeah, there's more anti-Semitic views in Europeans in Europe, but there's also more of everything European in Europe. There are more people that are driving in Europe that are European. There are more people that are tying their shoes that are European in Europe, right? But as a percentage of population wise, the people from Muslim population country in Europe, you're going to see a higher percentage of anti-Semitic views if you just focus on them compared to the rest of Europe. So it's not fair if you just focus on alt-right, because that would be like focusing within Muslim population if you just focus on like Wahhabis or something like that, right? Or ISIS or something like that, right? So if you just focus to a specific part of the European community, then the percentages are going to look different. Total number wise, of course, you're going to see it more from white people or European people, but percentage wise, I might be wrong. Correct me. Percentage wise, I think if you just compare European, not just alt-right, with Muslim populations, you're going to see higher amount of anti-Semitic views among Muslim population. Does that make sense, Ali? What I
It
said?
makes perfect sense.
Oh,
It's just it's going to be bottom line is what this is going to come down to is who does the research
right.
and
And
their
I
motivation behind it.
and what?
Their motivation behind it.
Right.
I think that you'll probably be able to find research that would prove
Hmm.
your side and his side. So it's
Right, but and also it's very hard to find the right data because there's a lot of agendas between even some of
right.
this research, right? But everything I say it could be completely wrong, so don't just take that as like, oh, this is what I'm
It
saying is
could be,
true.
but it's also something to take into
To
account.
consideration, like, and I'm happy to be proven wrong, and if I'm proven wrong, I'll be like, yeah, I was wrong. Sorry, thank you for correcting me. Let me see what people are saying here. That's a fair comment. Okay. All right, Ali, should we go to the next news?
Yeah, next news is out of Iran. Iran police arrest 30 at private yoga class. 30 people taking part in a yoga session have been arrested during a private class in Iran, reports suggest. They were detained in a private residence in the northern city of Gorgan, where they are apparently taking part in mixed class. So, what they mean by mixed class here, by the way, is mixed gender. Local Justice Department official Masoud Soleimani said the instructor, who was also arrested, had no license to run the class and had been advertising the event on Instagram. He also said that those taking part were wearing inappropriate outfits and had behaved inappropriately.
What does that mean, behaving like? What did they stretched? Like, what is that? What is that
That's
definition?
what I wanted to go ahead and bring this up because our report didn't mention it directly, but men and women in Iran are, first of all, not supposed to or not allowed to mix genders in sports. And yoga is considered a sport. And yoga in Iran is actually like completely it's bad. Like you're not supposed to be having any yoga class at all. So not only was this guy having a yoga class, but it was with men and women. So these women were dressed in yoga clothes, which apparently is now all of a sudden just terrible. And
It's too
since they were in
sexy.
company with men doing this stuff, doing this terrible yoga stuff, that's what they're referring to as acting inappropriately.
See, if he should have, if he didn't want to become a laughing stock, he should have just said, this has no license. But by the way, there's many other businesses there that are running without a license, but they're just picking on this because it's just
Absolutely.
a bunch of women in tights, and they're like, yeah, no. But he basically, but to do it properly, to not properly, like if you wanted to get away with closing this without people making fun of it, he should have just stuck on he had no license. Like that's the excuse. That's the best excuse you give for shutting down anything that is anti-Islamic.
Right.
You don't mention that because oh, so he specifically said inappropriate outfits. Yeah, this is how you become viral online by saying that we shut it down. So tip to officials in Iran: if you want to close down a business because it's too sexy for you, don't mention that. Don't say people have inappropriate outfits or they're stretching in in ways that is making you feel something that you don't want to feel. Just say you have no business license. But I guess then they could go get a business license. So then that's a problem.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then it would be a problem. So
yeah, but
it's just it's
yeah,
absurd.
yeah. They shouldn't. Is that true? I didn't know yoga. You know something more than I do about Iran. Yoga is illegal in Iran. Just yoga, even if you're not wearing something tight. You could still illegal. Yoga just by itself.
Now I don't know if it's
I don't think that's
necessarily
illegal. I don't think yoga is illegal.
illegal.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think they have a problem with yoga itself as long as you're not wearing something
They do
tight.
consider it un-Islamic. So this article is saying while there have been public gatherings of yoga fans in the country over the past few years, underground or un-Islamic classes, which are promoted across social media, are frowned upon.
So
So
So that's the thing.
you,
The yoga itself is not the issue. It's the fact that they're wearing tight clothes and stretching in weird ways. That's the issue. Because if that was because I remember people in parks they were doing yoga and
but
they
did you know that professional level yoga teaching is banned in Iran?
How do they define what? I didn't know that. Is it?
Yeah, so if you're actually trying to teach professional yoga, like professionally, you're trying to teach yoga.
Okay.
Doesn't
So you could
matter
be
if
like
you're.
stretching and be like, okay,
It's banned in the country.
no, you could be like the next move makes this too professional, so we're just not gonna we're gonna go to level 9, but I can't
It's
show
just a
you.
class of all downward dog.
I
That's
don't know.
all it is. So it's not professional.
So weird.
Everyone can do it.
Th- um, Wait. So what was the punishment? They arrested them. Did they go to jail or something?
So they detained the group in the house, and they'd actually been monitoring the residence for some time
Hmm.
before making arrests. So they did arrest them. Um,
Right. John is saying seems like quite the stretch, but
yes.
Sam is saying yoga is the devil. I think the Satanic Temple should take over yoga, if some more people say. Another person saying in India, Muslims said they are living in what? I don't understand what this comment has to do with any of this. Sopam is saying, do they think yoga is demonic? There was a Christian guy who said that yoga is demonic. I haven't heard Muslims yet say. Maybe they have. I haven't heard that many Muslims claim yoga is demonic, but I do notice that a lot of Muslim preachers start learning stuff from Christian preachers sometimes. And when there's ever a fear mongering that is becoming popular among Christian social media, they might start to, look into it, see like, hey, maybe we should call yoga demonic or like, um, you know, devilish. That should bring some attention to us. So, I mean, I do see them copying each other a lot. They do pay attention to what the other social media narratives is. So I wouldn't be surprised if some Muslim preachers start saying that. But so far, I haven't seen any. Let us know if you've seen that. Another godless atheist is saying, I know some conservative Christians see yoga as satanic ritual because it comes from Hinduism, which apparently is satanic. Yep. Chuck is saying, if it is so dangerous, why do they advertise it on Instagram? In Iran is really you have to get really unlucky for somebody to start paying attention to what you're doing on Instagram and wanted to make an example of you. Like there are a lot of girls and women in Iran that live in Iran and they have like dance on Instagram and post their videos and everybody can see them. So you just have to become, and there's so many thousands of them out there that you just have to. It's kind of like winning a lottery, but the opposite. You really have to be unlucky for somebody when have the time and energy to wanting to come after you specifically, right? So, I mean, technically it's all illegal, but young people want to do the things that they want to do, right?
Right.
Let me see if there's anything here. Amy saying a Baptist pastor I knew as a child said that grape flavor aid was satanic, and that's why Jim Jones used it. What? Okay, that's weird. Did you want to add anything here, Ali?
No.
Okay. Next news.
Next news is out of Taiwan. Hundreds of same sex couples marry in Taiwan on first day. It's legal. Amber Wang and Kristen Huang are two 24-year-olds from Tapai. They joined 526 other same sex couples in registering for their marriages on Friday, the first day it was allowed under law that passed last week. That is the first kind anywhere in Asia. And sorry, that went on forever. I feel very proud of Taiwan because we are the first country in Asia to legalize gay marriage. Huang said legislators passed the law despite divided public opinion after more than 2 years back and forth involving the Constitutional Court and voter referendum. So, yeah, I mean, finally people in Asia, in at least Taiwan, are allowed to get married to each other. And so 526 couples showed up to get married on the very first day it became legal. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. But why Taiwan took so long? Like, I don't understand. So, and the people there are still divided on this. What's the source of this division? Like, Taiwan is not very religious, I assume. Is it? Actually, let me see.
Uh,
So I want to know why Taiwan. Let's see, Taiwan religion. So we do have a different. We could. It's good to see that, and it's not good to see, but it's important for us to see other sources of nonsense like homophobia, and because other reasons why people might be conservative, other than
right. Well,
Abrahamic religions. But I want to see before we make any comments. I want to see. Okay, Taiwan here. So it's 35% Buddhist. That's number one. 33% Taoists. Then the number three is 18% non-religious. And then by a huge margin, number four is 4% Christian. Is Buddhism against gay marriage? So this might be, I don't know if it is or
I
not, but
think this is more cultural than
cultural.
religion because
Right.
there were a ton of same-sex marriage opponents that spoke out saying letting same-sex couples married deprives children of their mother-father household and will lead to insurance benefit scams.
Mm.
And so that's where they kind of focus their stuff on. And so, yeah, in 2018, 72% of people in Taiwan said that marriage should be restricted to one man and one woman. And I think that again, this is more just this is how things have always been. Let's not change. It's just cultural rather than religious.
Right. So it's important for us to see this because there's a lot of atheist activists that think all the world's problems come from religion, right? And I always want to
It's just
point,
not the case.
which is not the case. I want to point out that the world would be a better place without religion, but not all the problems of the world is going to be solved without religion. And there, people take this idea to two different extremes. They're like, oh, there will still be war and violence and greed and all that without religion. So what's the point? Like, yeah, there will still be war and homophobia and racism, but there will be less of it. Okay? It will still be there. It will be less of it. But a lot of atheist activists also, the other extreme is that atheist activists that think every problem in the world could be somehow tied to religion. No, we still have, like, look, Taiwan, which is a not very religious country, and even the religions that they have is, I don't think it's that much, is that very homophobic. Still, it took them this long to uh, accept gay marriage, and even now they're still very divided about it, right? So
Right.
homophobia exists in other forms as well, not just Abrahamic religions, but that doesn't mean it's, that Abrahamic religions don't increase or encourage that. They do increase and encourage that, but again, both extremes do not make sense. As and again, I'm not just because I'm saying both extremes, both sides are wrong. Like, the people think that without religion the world would be just as shitty. No, they're wrong. The world would be better. And the people that think that without religion the world would be utopia, they're wrong as well. So the answer here is probably in the middle, but that doesn't mean that I think that the answer is always in the middle. That's a logical fallacy for you to think that if there's this argument and this argument, the answer is always somewhere in the middle. No, sometimes one side is completely right and the other side is completely wrong. I'm just saying in this scenario, the answer is somewhere in the middle. Let me see. Morgan is saying so happy to see this, but I have a question. Like, how many people? 500?
526 couples on the very
Okay,
first day.
so this is good because it also destroys another stereotype that gay people are supposed to be good at planning stuff, because this is horrible planning, right? Like, this is not the day that you do your marriage when 500 other people are planning their marriage. Like, you know how hard it is to get flowers and get a venue and everything
Well,
on
mind
the
you,
same day.
this is a group, Sarah. So like they all gathered together. They were in this together.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, then it breaks a different stereotype that gay people want everything to be extravagant,
Ha ha.
yeah. So to
Thank
be
you.
is yeah, so to because they're like, look, they're doing it simple. They were like just like something small, all of us
This
together.
unity. It was about
It was
unity.
about
All of
unity
them
rather
together
than making it
caring.
making everything fabulous or all that, right? So it breaks that stereotype, right? Let me see what other the top comment is. This Mitra is saying this makes me so happy. Is there one? There should be one comment here saying, when did the Atheist Republic turn into, the Gay Republic or something like that? There should be somebody saying this.
I
Sometimes
love it. They always call us Gaytheist Republic, which
Gaytheist,
secretly I love.
Gaytheist Republic. Yeah. Sometimes when you post stuff about LGBT rights or homophobia, people are like, I didn't realize this is the Gaytheist Republic. I'm out of here. Ray is
I
saying,
love that.
Ray is saying, good for them, but marriage isn't all it's cracked up to be. Ghazi is saying, humanity 1, organized religion 0. Ghazi, I don't know if this has anything to do with religion. Ron is saying, did they tie their knots? And he's spelling tie with as TAI. A different lover. Okay. Should we? Oh wait, Jackie's saying something. Jackie's saying there's a cultural difference. There's cultural differences when it comes to countries like Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, China, etc. Lots of ignorance around progressive issues, and they just don't know anything about it. Yep, just to show that ignorance comes in non-religious forms as well.
Yep.
Um, all right, next news.
Next news is out of Oregon in the USA. An Oregon attacker of Sikh store owner ordered to learn more about the religion. Andrew Ramsey, 25, had pleaded guilty Monday in Marion County Circuit Court to second-degree intimidation, a hate crime under Oregon law. He attacked Harwinder Singh Dodd on January 14th at Dodd's Salem convenience store. He was sentenced Friday to 180 days in jail in order to attend a local temple's annual parade to learn more about the faith. Dodd wrote in a victim impact statement Friday that Ramsey got angry and refused to leave his store when Dodd refused to sell Ramsey cigarettes without an ID. Dodd said Ramsey ripped his turban off his head, pulled his beard, spat on him, punched him, and kicked him until customers intervened.
What the? Okay, why?
So Ramsey, this 25-year-old Ramsey kid, he admits he did this to Dodd because of his culture, his religion, the way he looked. Like, he did this to him because of that. So obviously that's a hate crime, should be a hate crime. Yeah. And so the judge said, you know what, because it took so long for him to finally get to this court date. Anyways, he's already served the 180 days. So now what he has to do is attend this temple's annual parade to learn more about Sikhs.
This is the dumbest. This is a dumb judge. I mean, actually, I don't know, actually, but this is a dumb ruling. Don't you think? Like, what the hell? Like, why? Just give this guy, punish this guy. Maybe anger management classes or something. But why does he? What do you think? I think it's stupid.
Well, here's the gamble that the judge is taking here, because some people just hate to hate. Some people love to hate.
Yeah, that's the root of the problem. Like the anger, the hate. That's what needs to be addressed. What if this guy? What if he hates it more after he reads about? What if he? I mean, their books is pretty boring. Okay, if you learn about this religion, it's boring to most people.
I'm not convinced that this Ramsey kid, the guy who did this, I'm not convinced he even knew the store owner was Sikh. He probably the store owner was Muslim or something else. He probably had no idea. Just hey,
he might hate it even more if he has to read about it. No, but this is not gonna. Okay, so what does that mean? is this judge saying that if the religion is actually a horrible religion, then the guy's attack would be justified? Because
No, 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 no.
no,
What
no,
he's
but
saying
it's
is
no, no,
you're going
but
to not attack these people anymore because you're going to learn about them and you're going to love them because you've learned about
that's
them.
what I'm saying.
That's
So
not
by that argument, if their religion was something that we could hate, then that would justify attack on them. But you know what I mean? Like, this is what the judge is suggesting. Because what I would say is that it doesn't matter if the religion is shitty or not. You don't treat people like this. And if this judge is saying, no, if you read about the religion and it's a nice religion, then you shouldn't be attacking them, then are you suggesting that if you read about the religion and it's actually a horrible religion, then you're justified to go attack people? Do you know what? Do you understand what
Yeah,
I'm trying?
no, I get the point that you're making.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that this sentence swing was absolutely a gamble. I think one, he needed more time than time served. And two, I think that he needed anger management and how to deal with people and how to deal with hatred, not just to learn about a religion that I don't even think he knew about in the first place, to be honest with
So
you. I mean, I don't
let's
know.
say that this guy was not Sikh, was a Muslim, and the judge said like, you should go read about the religion so should you love them, and then you go read about the religion. I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't hate this enough. Like, you know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah, what if that happens?
what if that happens? What if okay, here's another thing. Let's talk about something that most people maybe agree on. What if you just randomly started attacking an alt-right person because they're alt-right, right? Then their ideology is shit, right? So does that mean that if you read about their ideology, what is that going to accomplish, right? If I start attacking a flat earther, for example, am I supposed to now go study flat Earth, or ideology, so I could start loving them more? Like, what does that mean? Just don't attack. You can't attack people like this, whatever their ideology is. Like, I don't understand what the point is.
I think what this judge is hoping for is some sort of case like in the second news article we spoke about today, where the guy went to Saudi Arabia, fell in love with the people, and decided he was
Right.
a Muslim now. Maybe that was what the judge was hoping was going to happen here. But that's a gamble. It's such a gamble.
I just don't like that this feeding into the narrative that you should love these people because their religion is beautiful. Because that also suggests that if their religion is not beautiful, then you should hate them.
Right.
And that's a dangerous thing to suggest, because you should love people even if they believe in nonsense, okay? Because guess what? Most people in this planet believe in some sort of nonsense, okay? And if you're gonna only if you're gonna hate everybody because of the nonsense that they believe in, then you're gonna hate most of this freaking planet, and that's a lot of hate
Right.
that you have to deal with. Okay, you have to learn that people are gonna believe in stupid shit, and you have to forgive them for that. Okay, so don't suggest, oh, we have to love Muslims because their religion is beautiful. That's a very dangerous thing to say, because then if you realize that their religion is not beautiful, now you hate 1.8 billion people on this freaking planet. Right? And then you're gonna have to hate Christians as well, and you have to hate everybody almost. Right? There's not gonna be that much people left for you to love if that's the criteria. Let me see. Marcus is saying, not sure if that makes sense. Never seen a religion that wasn't based on madness. Yeah. Anybody in the YouTube comment section? I'm gonna check here. All right. By the way, is Moose not commenting anymore? I hope she didn't get too upset with me. Sorry about. But okay, Axel is saying, so if someone attacks me, the judge could force them to learn about atheism, because this might be a game changer. Good point, Axel. Ajahn is saying, I agree. I do hate Islam, but not most Muslims. I only hate extremists. My Muslim neighbors brought me Ramadan food, and it was lovely. Well, I know this is controversial to say, but I don't even hate extremists. Extremists are the number one victims of their ideologies, and I feel sympathy for them. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Armin is a terrorist sympathizer or something like that. But honestly, I see extremists as victims. And yes, people could be abusers and victims at the same time. Okay, so but I do see them as victims, and I don't. I think they should be stopped. They should sometimes be killed. They should be attacked. They should be imprisoned. They should be shot or maybe even bombed. But you don't. You could do all that for the sake of saving other people from them, without hating them, right? So
Yeah.
if you, for example, find a terrorist, and I acknowledge that sometimes you need to stop people from causing harm, either by killing them or putting them in prison or whatever if you're in war, but that's for the sake of other people that they're harming. You're not doing that as revenge. You're not doing that. I think you shouldn't be doing that as revenge, and you shouldn't be doing it because you hate them. In fact, you should sympathize. You should regret that they have to die because they are a victim of that ideology. Does that make sense, Ellie? Or
Yeah, it
I'm pretty
does.
sure people are gonna be like a lot of people are gonna be pissed that you say like, oh, we should feel sympathy for terrorists. Sorry if I, sorry if you. I'm willing to be convinced otherwise if you think there's a rational argument for it. I think people are the product of their environment and their genetics. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't be. Just because I have sympathy for them, that doesn't mean I think they shouldn't be held responsible for their actions.
Oh,
Those
because they absolutely should.
They should be. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Anyway, should we go to the next news?
Oh, yeah. Next news. Thousands of people back a doctor suspended for asking a Muslim patient to remove veil. More than 83,000 people have signed a petition backing a British doctor who could lose his job for asking a Muslim woman to remove her veil. Dr. Keith Wolferson, 52, insists he only asked the woman to remove her niqab, a veil covering all but the eyes, so he could hear her while trying to diagnose her daughter at Royal Stoke University Hospital last June. I'm not racist. This has nothing to do with race, religion, or skin color, he previously told Daily Mail. But the unidentified woman complained, and now Wolverson says he is fearful of the consequences of a formal probe by the UK's General Medical Council, as well as racial discrimination inquiry. And I
What?
think he should be scared about that because he's kind of being accused of something that he feels he didn't do. He wasn't trying to discriminate against this woman, according to him. He says that all he wanted to do was hear her so he could better treat her daughter, and he couldn't hear her through her covering. So, you can only
Wait.
ask someone to
So
speak up so many times, I guess.
How many times did he ask her? Do you know?
That I don't know.
Okay. So she went to the doctor, and the doctor like, hey, do you mind removing that so I can hear what you're saying?
I can't hear you. Right.
And now he's being investigated for hate crime. What the hell? This is where? This is in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh my god, UK is losing its mind. What the hell is happening?
It's out of England, specifically.
England, okay. Honestly, like we keep hearing news like this from England, and we keep keeps proving people's point. I always hope that a lot of the stuff that we're hearing from England is an exaggeration, but more and more I think like we see stuff like this, and it's like maybe it's not. Um, it's good that he's getting so much support. But the fact that 83,000 people have signed a petition to back the doctor is good news. But it must mean that the initial reaction must have been really bad for this many people to have felt that they needed to speak out. I'm glad that these people are doing this, but this is insane that this guy is even getting any amount of. I mean, again, all of this news, Occam's razor. We don't know if the news is being reported accurately.
Right.
There's a chance that the doctor might have done something more that we don't know of, right? But Occam's razor, we're just going to assume, like, not going to assume, we're going to say how likely the story is correct, but there's always a chance that it's not. Who reported this? Was the woman, is it, like, she complained about the doctor?
She did. So she went to file a formal complaint
Oh,
against the
fuck
doctor.
her.
And then from there, it got on the news because it's and once it was on the news, that's what probed the spark for all of the other organizations that are going to be investigating him, which I think are only two other people who are going to be investigating him. But the Doctors Association is going to be doing an investigation, of course. And I mean, he's terrified because she makes this complaint, it makes it on the news, and all of a sudden he's like, what am I supposed to do now?
See, this is going to give the Muslim. Sorry, go on. Finish your. What you say?
No. And I
you
already said the rest of the story. So
but this is going to make a lot of Muslims in UK in England realize how much power they have, right? Like they're gonna be like, I could just complain about stuff and it's just gonna make it in the news. All I have to do, I just have to make if I get bad customer service, if somebody doesn't give me the pizza that I wanted exactly the way I wanted, or if somebody is late for the delivery is late, any kind of mistreatment, all I have to do is say this is because I'm Muslim or something like that. And my complaint is going to make it to the news. It's going to put this guy's career in danger. Like, this is if I was like a customer service or was doing any kind of service in the UK, if the person is Muslim, I'm going to be a lot more careful and a lot more scared at not making them like this is giving them so much power, right? Like I would be scared. Like if somebody is annoying me, I might tell them to just go fuck off. I'm not going to serve them because they're being rude to me. But if they are Muslim, I might be like, I can't do that because this guy is going to say that I'm doing that to them because they're Muslim, right? And I just going to end my career right here and then, right? So, and when this gets on the news, more Muslims are going to realize how much power they have over the entire society now. They get to get away with a lot more stuff. All you have to do is just say they're doing this to me because did they actually say racism? Did I hear you actually say racism somewhere in the news?
he said that. He said that about himself. He said, this has nothing to do with, I'm not a racist. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not against religion in any way. He couldn't hear her. He's trying to treat her daughter.
What was it? Do you know what was the official complaint by this woman? Because then, like, what did she write? Did that
No,
get leaked?
and it's so confidential. Like they're not even releasing who she is.
Oh my! Like you do this to somebody that actually wants to take care of your daughter.
Yeah.
Ungrateful. Again, this story might be different, and if it is, we're sorry to this woman. Okay, there's a small chance always everything that is reported might be wrong. But in case this story is being accurately reported, you ungrateful. And again, I'm trying not to swear because people are asking me not to swear.
It's hard.
Yeah, but this woman. Okay, Mars is saying this is ridiculous. No one should cave to this nonsense. Exactly. Sobhan said something above. Can you find that? He tagged us. Jack is saying not surprised. I'm hearing impaired and I'm hearing impaired and was punished at school for not working with an assigned partners because I couldn't understand anything she said under niqab. I need to see lips. Oh, so Jack was in the UK and he was punished for saying that. So he actually experienced the same thing, Jack.
That's bad. Yeah, that's bad.
Supam is saying, by the logic in the news, you're a racist for asking me to turn off the fan for a louder voice in the video. Let me see. What is this guy? There's this guy spamming us on Facebook. Should I just ban this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just sending a warning to Peter. If you do that one more time, I'm gonna ban you. Why is all these numbers? Steph is saying hi from Montreal. Hi. All right. Anything? Oh wait, did we read the top comment? Oh yeah, we didn't. Gregory is saying, unfortunately, people have taken this religious cultural thing too far. This woman should have just gone and prayed for her child. Good luck with that to be healed, so she wouldn't have to remove the veil that way. But instead, she chose the sinful way and go to the doctor. She doesn't have much faith, I guess. Okay, Gregory, I really am against what you're saying. This child shouldn't be punished for their mom's faith. You shouldn't encourage anybody to just pray for it. And even if you think it's hypocritical for people to go to the doctor and use modern medicine instead of relying on faith, I think it's very unfair to the child to suffer. In fact, it would be even unfair to her to suffer. People shouldn't be punished this way for their stupidity. Healthcare is important, even to people that believe in ridiculous things. And especially to children, and for you, and I don't agree with that at all. Like, I hope whatever nonsense happened here, I hope her child got the medical attention that she needed. Do you want to go to the next news? Peter's saying I'm not spamming. Then what are these numbers that you're posting, Peter? Like what? You just counted from 1 to 13 for no reason. Let us know. Oh, yeah.
Armin, before we get into the next news article, are you going to play the video on this? Because
Yeah,
if
I don't know. Should I?
we might want to warn people.
Yes, I'm gonna warn people before I play the video, but we can talk about the news before.
Okay,
But
this
just
story made me sick to my stomach. Like I'm upset, and I
all
wish I
right.
hadn't watched the video. So
Yeah, I watched the video and it made me sick as well. But let me just warning: we're not gonna watch the video first before we warn you. So be careful. There's gonna be a video in this news that is gonna be very disturbing. But even before the video, the image that we're gonna show you might be disturbing. Right, just the cover image is disturbing. So just be warned about that as well. So I'm just for now I'm not gonna show the video. I'll warn you again before I show the video. But for now, just a warning about the cover image alone. Okay, so here comes the cover image. Okay, next news.
next news out of Yemen: outrage after man tortures and murders 10-year-old daughter. A Yemeni father callously tortured his 10-year-old daughter for allegedly committing adultery in the northern Damar province. Police found out that the girl was killed by her father. During the investigation, the man admitted that he threw his daughter off a cliff in the Samara Mountains in IBB province after severely beating her. He is still on trial. His next hearing is after EID. He filmed her to prove her guilt.
To prove.
And here's the video.
Okay, so no, not yet. Okay, so just before I watch the video again, I'm gonna warn you way ahead of time before I watch it, before I show you the video. But before that, let's just explain the video. So what happened? So before he killed her, correct me if I'm wrong, Ali. Before he killed her own daughter, 10 years old, he beat her a lot, right? And
Yeah.
tortured her, and the accusation was that she was raped. Not that she did anything to anybody, that she was raped. So
Well, her fault in this was talking to boys when her father told her not to talk to boys.
yes, but what that resulted to, according to the father, was that she was raped, and that's why he killed her, right? Which is like I don't know how to even. Okay, so instead of I mean, what do you do when your daughter is raped? You feel so sad. You feel sympathy for them. You try to find the accuser,
And then
but
and then you push your feelings aside and you do everything you
to
can to
protect
help
to protect them.
protect her.
But this father, like this is victim blaming to I don't know what level, but this father thinks not only does he not go try to find who raped her, he punishes his own daughter for being raped, which eventually was found out that she wasn't even raped. Correct. Um. But anyways,
Ultimately, what we can prove, between the video and everything else,
so
is he was mad at his 10-year-old daughter
right.
for talking to another boy. He got her to admit on tape that was the case, that she didn't listen to her father and she spoke to boys. And he said, I'm just not. But
Right.
so that's all we know. That's all we know, really.
So that's one point before I show you in a video. Another point is before he killed her, he videoed her admitting to her quote unquote crime. And in the court, he presented that as evidence that his killing was justified. Right? So remember that when I'm showing this video is horrific because it's going to show her in so much distress. It's going to show her that she has scars around her face. And she's like, and anybody watching this video anybody sane will think this father is a monster. But apparently the uncle, the father's brother, right, provided this video to the court not as a way to condemn the father, not as proof that this asshole is a monster, but as a way to prove that his killing was justified. What did the court decide, by the way?
They haven't. He has another court date coming up, and I think that the outrage in Yemen, thankfully, there are people there who are saying this man needs to be cut up and fed to dogs. This man, which I
Which
don't,
which
I
we
don't
don't
condone.
endorse. We don't endorse mob
Right, we don't
justice.
endorse that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they're outraged at this man's behavior, and that gives me just a pinch of hope and humanity at this point. Is the people in his own community are saying this man is terrible, he's disgusting, and because of their outrage, and thanks to their outrage, that he actually might see a tougher sentence here.
Before I show the video, I'm gonna read Sopham's question. Sopham is asking, is there any part of Islam which asks to punish unmarried non-virgin girls with death? That's a very fair question. So again, we want to be fair. This is not endorsed by anything in Islamic teaching. What you can accuse Islam of indirectly, is to create an honor culture, is to create a system where virginity and purity is so highly valued that influences in a culture in a way that causes stuff like this. Indirectly, there are other things that really ends in this kind of culture as well, but Islam does have a part in it.
Armin just got a super chat.
Yeah, let me finish this
There's
thought before
sent
we mention
message.
that. Thank you for that.
Okay.
But within Islamic teaching itself, there's nothing that endorses this. Okay? Again, Islam has a lot of barbaric teachings. It has a lot of inhumane, monstrous, teaching that endorses other forms of violence. But killing somebody for being raped is not endorsed in anywhere in Islamic teaching. But again, Islam's hands is not completely clean. It could be indirectly. Again, this has to be proven, but it could be argued that Islam is indirectly responsible. But nothing in Islamic teaching does allow this. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Nader. Oh, thank you, Nader. Nader always gives us super chat, so thank you for that. He's saying
Yes, but what he's saying is my grandpa's brother did an honor killing of his wife.
Oof.
He was never prosecuted in Palestine. This happened in the 90s. Not much has changed since then.
Oh, so sorry to hear that, Nader.
So sorry to hear that.
I'm gonna show the video again. Warning to anybody. Before I show the video is disturbing. There is no violence being committed, in the video, but you can see
The
that
girl has already been beaten and tortured.
you can see that she was tortured without actually showing the torture. Like, the torture is not shown in the video, but you can see that she has gone through torture before this video happened. It's very disturbing, so just warning before I start this. Warning to everybody, okay? I'm going to read the translation. I know you can see the translation on screen, but I'm going to have to keep pausing it and reading it out because this is also going to go on our podcast, okay? I don't like that Twitter autoplays these things, so I'm going to have to pause it, unmute the tab. Okay. So the father, where did the caption go? So the father goes, she thought boys to play sexually with you. I think the translation is not very good. Speak the truth. Wait, where did this go? God damn it, Twitter. Speak the truth. And then the girl says, I swear to Allah. Oh, come on, Twitter. I swear to Allah, this is correct. She thought them to play sexually with you. Yes. She answers yes. I see. And you never listen to your father, right? Yes, she says. What is your last words? I don't have any. You want to meet Allah in hell? Who recorded this video? Was this the father or the uncle?
I believe it was the father.
Okay. So he asked her before killing. This video was shortly before he killed her?
Right before he killed her.
Right before he killed her. So he asked her own 10-year-old daughter before he killed her, "What is your last words?"
Right.
And
And I just want to say something here that I don't even think needs to be said, but just in case it does. Once you if you take a 10-year-old child or any child and you beat them repeatedly, asking them the same questions over and over and over, she could have said 8,000 times she never taught anyone to play sexually with her, right? 8,000 times. So he keeps beating her and beating her and beating her. She's obviously going
yeah,
to give the answer he wants to make it stop.
yeah. So she, like, look how much she was beaten. So she basically answered whatever the father wanted to hear. Some people are saying just play the video without stopping. So I'm just gonna play it one more time without stopping. It's a short one.
ايوه وعلمت العيال يشمتوش ها كلم الصوت علمتهم يشمتوش ايوه وانتي ما سمعتش كلام ابوش صح اجعل اخر كلمة تقوليها يعني تلقي ربش الى جهنم.
Think about the amount of distress that she had to deal with. Like she also thinks he tells her that I'm gonna kill you and you're gonna go to hell after this. This is so fucked up. And she's never gonna see justice. You know, this.
I mean, honestly, the torture she went through, knowing that it was all about to end, was probably I can't. This is sad.
Yeah, like she was beaten, and she also knows, like, she's like, what's your last words? Like, she also knows that she's about to get killed. I think that the beating part is even worse than the killing part. Oh my god. Danielle is saying she dishonored her family. What else could he do? Oh, what the fuck, Danielle? This is not something to joke about. Jen is saying, I'll go on a wild guess and say it has something to do with a country with more than 99% of its population endorsing a certain peaceful religion. This is in Yemen, right?
Yes.
So again, it is. To be honest, I do think it's related, and I'm happy to be proven otherwise. Again, there is no Islamic teaching that suggests this is allowed. This is not allowed under Islamic teachings and Islamic law. But Islam does promote honor culture, right? And this could be as a result of that indirectly. Okay, right. So, and the proof, I guess, for that, what you might suggest, is that you do see honor culture more common in Islamic countries. Okay, right? Just because. So you have to take that. You have to. And what I'm saying here might not be true, right? This is just. And I'm happy if you guys want to have any arguments against it, right? So there is no hadith that you could point to that shows that you can go and kill your daughter if she's been raped. But at the same time, you could see honor culture more common in Islamic countries. So it might be indirectly related. Chris is saying that poor girl, I don't usually cry. Damn. Oh, sorry, Chris. Sorry for making you upset. Okay. Ali, did you want to add anything?
No. There's more to the story. Everyone, there are different articles saying different things. This one specifically doesn't even say who filmed the girl. Some people are saying it's the uncle. Some people are saying it's the father. Truth of the matter is we don't know.
Right.
What we do know is this was circulated on social media.
So it might be that. No, yeah, no, it must have been the father, because it was recorded before. Yeah.
Makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we might be wrong about that, but yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I hope he goes to jail forever. Anyways, let me actually see if there's anyone here. Philip is saying it's the result of cultural stagnation. Actually, Philip, that's a good point. It might be. So there's a second indirect way that Islam could be responsible. So I suggested one indirect way of it being responsible is Islam endorsement of honor culture. I might be completely wrong on this, but Philip makes a good point. Another indirect way could be Islam being responsible for cultural stagnation, and then cultural stagnation being responsible for shitty culture like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, so two-step process, not that Islam directly endorses this, right? So again, we don't know to answer these questions. These are not easy questions to answer. These are only at the level of just guessing at our point. It takes much more expertise, statistic, analysis by people way more professional than us to be able to link these things. If it's okay to guess these things, but every time you guess things like this, please clarify that you could be completely wrong about it. Last news.
Last news. Owaisi professor arrested for Facebook post on right to eat beef. This is out of New Delhi, India. Jitrai Hansda, a professor at the government school of college for women in Jharkhand, was arrested on Saturday. A lawyer from the team handling Hansda's case told Huffington Post that the complaint was filed against him June 2017, based on Facebook posts that he had written. The lawyer suspected the arrest was made after the elections were over so that the BJP did not anger the Adivaisis and lose their votes before the polls. Hansda and the prominent Adivasi activists and are theater artists, and his Facebook post asserted his community's right to eat beef. The post also said that they oppose India's law on eating beef and that his community also consumes peacocks, the country's national bird. He also expressed his unwillingness to follow Hindu customs.
Wait, so he just made a Facebook post says he's against the law. Wait, India has a law against eating beef?
India?
No, what is it? Okay, so what was the Facebook post about? There's no law like that. We're going.
You can't eat beef in India.
No, so what is the law that he's suggesting that he's against? I don't understand.
So on his Facebook post, he's asserted that his community has the right to eat beef.
Yeah, but everybody in India has a right to eat beef. So what's this complaining about?
They said they oppose India's laws on eating beef and that his community also consumes peacocks, which is the country's national bird. Are you sure people in India are allowed to eat beef?
Well, they're allowed by the law, but they're not allowed. Like, the pushback is not from the government. The pushback is from the Hindu mob. Am I right, Subham? Where's Subham where we need?
Where's Subham?
Subham is
what's up, Subham?
Okay, let me actually see. So what was the Facebook post that he got arrested for? What does the Facebook post say?
Specifically, just that. That's a summary of his Facebook post.
Which is?
That his community has the right to eat beef and that they also eat peacocks.
Okay, that's the peacock part is very weird
and that
random.
He is unwilling to follow Hindu customs.
Customs, not laws. Okay, first of all, there's so many question marks here, I don't even know where to start. He says we have the right to eat beef. Well, yes, you do. I think in India there's no law against eating beef. That's just a mob. Let me see. Sobham, he's commenting. Sobham is saying many states have laws against cow slaughter, not against eating beef. Yeah, exactly. But that's not what the right wing thinks. Okay, so there are some states in India that you can't slaughter cows, but you can still eat beef coming from other states, right? This guy, okay, so I guess we're blaming the victim because the main point of the story was that he was arrested for a Facebook post, and we're too much.
Yeah.
But so we'll get to that. But I just want to point out that when he says we have the right to eat beef, well, yes, you do. There's no laws against eating beef in India. It's nonsense that there's a mob. The mob might come after you, but there's no government coming after you for eating beef. So yes, you do. So I don't know what you're complaining about. But even if your complaint doesn't make sense, and the peacock version, I don't know why he mentioned peacocks, but we'll get to that later. That's so random. But even if your post is nonsense, it's more nonsense that you got arrested for it. What was the charges for him being arrested for? Like he was arrested for making a Facebook post on what charges?
Well, I think that's the problem, and again, this is something that we also have to take with a grain of salt here, because this is just what's being reported, and we don't know what their motive for reporting this is. I think that right now, with a lot of people being very nervous about the new election and who's in charge, that this story very much indicates that because of the new government, or because of the existing government right now, they're going to start arresting people who eat beef. I don't know, but that's pretty much what's going on here, because a diary was filed against Hansda's Facebook post in 2017 investigating the complaint. So this has been ongoing, but he was only arrested yesterday, and he is still in police custody because of this post that he made.
But for what? On what? Based on what law? Like, that's what I'm trying to, like. Okay, when the police comes and arrests you, they mention to you directly right there, you've been, the charges. And what was the charges? Do you know? They just randomly like, hey, we didn't like your Facebook post, so we're arresting you. Where is Sopham again? Where we need him?
Let's see. It says that he was booked under sections 153A, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the Indian Penal Code for insulting religious feelings and attempts to promote. So that's basically it, is that he insulted religious feelings for talking about eating beef.
Oh, wait. So saying that you have the right to eat beef is now passes as insulting religious feelings in India?
Scary, right?
What the hell is happening to India? Like, it was bad, but it's getting worse, isn't it? Okay, let's see what Sobham is saying. The cow vigilantes don't allow selling beef in those states, so you can hardly find beef there. Yeah, but that's not the but that's not the point. The point is that if you can find beef, you have the right to eat it. But forget that. Let's focus on the arrest. Sobham is saying the charges are that he incited religious hatred, which doesn't fall under the freedom of speech in India. So that is the law. Like, you can't. Unfortunately, India does have a law that you can't incite religious hatred, which is nonsense, right?
But they're saying that there are some regions in India where it is illegal to eat beef.
They are? Who's saying that?
His Holiness.
Oh, His Holiness saying that. Okay, but is there a law against saying that you should have the right to eat beef? That law doesn't exist. Unless apparently if you're saying that, now you're inciting hatred against religion. Just like, hey, how about this? I like beef. Can you, like, people in India should just go and start posting I like beef, seeing if that's religious hatred now, apparently, in India. I don't know. But the fact that they even have that law is nonsense. But even after that, what passes as hatred against religion, unless he posted more than that, did he add anything else to say fuck Hinduism or anything like that? Or he just said...
Yeah. Well, he did say that he wouldn't follow Hinduism. Remember, he's not going to follow Hindu customs. So he said that in his post. And what they keep repeating over and over and over in this is his post.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. That's scary. India is supposed to be one of the most secular countries in the world, and we're losing you, India. Atheist activists in India, you need to do something. Like, step it up. Come on, Indian atheists, do something. You're losing your country. This is the world's largest democracy. This is not something small. Like, people, it's so funny that we talk about India as if like, oh, this happened in England. Oh, and also here's another news in India. People sometimes forget that we're talking about 1/7 of the entire planet. You know what I mean? Like, when something legally changes in India, is affecting a high portion of our community. So Indian atheist activists, whatever they do and whatever win they make, the impact on that on a global scale is much, much higher than any win that we could make here in Canada or in the United States or in the UK. But it doesn't get as much attention as it deserves, given the amount of impact on the number of human beings it's making, India, right? So we need to support and encourage Indian atheist activists to do something, because atheism and secularism is losing in India, and unfortunately a lot of so-called Hindu atheists support this nonsense. Sobham is saying, I always post and comment about loving beef. My state allows it, though even Hindus eat beef here. Sobham
His Holiness made a correction. It's in some places in India, it's illegal to sell beef.
Okay, so you can eat beef. There's nowhere. Can you correct us? Is there anywhere in India where it's illegal to eat beef? Because I don't think that's the case, right? So I think just selling or beef or slaughtering cows, that's illegal, but eating it is not illegal.
But apparently, eating it now can be an insult to religious sentiment.
Or just saying that you just want to eat it
Yeah,
apparently is
it's crazy.
yeah. Hi. Subham is saying, by the way, Hindus love to talk about Indian culture, but what? Adivasis? Is that right? Am I reading that right, Ellie? Are the Aboriginal tribes in India who have been here since before the Aryans arrived and created Hinduism. That's too much. Somehow you're getting too much detail now. You're too technical. Um,
But you're awesome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We need you here. Don't always, Sopam, always show up on our live chats because we're covering more Indian news and we need your insight on this. You're one of those Hindu, former ex-Hindu atheists that doesn't make excuses for this nonsense. So we need your commentary on this. Nish had to say you can eat human beings also because you have rights, freedom, and rationality. What? Oh, this is. Look at this. Every time we post about, we get more triggered, sensitive snowflake Hindus than Muslims. Okay, I'm commenting. Like when we talk shit about Islam, we don't get as much triggered Muslims commenting as we get Hindus, and even atheists, so-called atheist Hindus. This is how sensitive you guys are. Okay. So Nisha is saying like, oh, you have the right to eat. I don't know with this. It's this attack on this. I don't understand your analogy, but it doesn't make any sense. Patrick is saying good meat is immoral. That's not the point, Patrick. That's not the point. Okay, this is not a vegan argument. Okay, this is not an argument about animal rights. This guy was arrested for a Facebook post. Okay, so so Patrick, your veganism. You're such a vegan that you think that somebody should be arrested for posting and saying that I want to eat beef. You think that is worthy of somebody being arrested, Patrick? That's how extreme your veganism has taken you. Appy is saying only cow meat is banned, not the bull ox meat. Okay, India is one of the leading exporters of beef. Yeah, that's very bizarre. India, did you know that, Ellie? India is one of the leading exporters of beef
and leather.
Yeah, that's
from
amazing.
cows. Yeah,
Such an without this industry, probably.
I knew that from my vegan activist days.
Oh yeah, you're a former vegan activist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. There's so many comments coming on YouTube as well. So Pam is saying I don't believe it's illegal to eat beef anywhere. Yeah, that's what I thought. Another person that I can't pronounce their name is saying in India beef means buffalo meat. Okay. GV is saying on the day of the election results, somebody hacked into the BGP website and posted beef recipes. Is that true? Somebody please verify that. Sobham is saying I love the AR podcast, so yeah, I will join the live chat every week. Oh, thank you, Sobham. We really do need you. Seriously.
Me too.
We don't have, we need your. Sobham is also saying largest exporter of beef, followed by Brazil and Australia. I think you're saying Australia there. Yeah, okay. All right, that was our. Let me actually see. John Brown is saying having an opinion is not a valid reason for being arrested. Yeah, thank you, John Brown. This seems pretty obvious, right? Seems like it has to go without saying, but apparently the world's largest democracy doesn't think so. So, by the way, a lot of people in India think that we're being Hindu racist when we talk shit about Hinduism and Indian politics, but that's nonsense. There's bullshit, right? If you think that's big, if we don't talk about the nonsense that is happening in your country, that's actually the bigotry of lower expectations, because to criticize other religious nonsense and not yours, that would be a double standard. In fact, if anything, there are many Indian atheist activists and secularists that are fighting against this nonsense in India, and the atheists in India that are making excuses for this just because they want the image of their country to look better to the rest of the planet. You're not doing your country any service. The fact that the image of your country matters more to you than secularism in your own country. It shows that how fucked up nationalism can be and how it could mess up with people's priorities. and how you are actually part of the problem, and you are not. You might be helping your country's image, which you're actually not, because it's actually very embarrassing when you how sensitive you guys are every time we talk about India. But even if you are defending your country's image, you're actually hurting it more by holding your country back and keeping it into the same barbaric backward you know centuries that Christianity and Islam want to keep the countries that they dominate. So yeah, you could go, you keep complaining. I know we have lost a lot of fans, atheists from India that apparently have this emotional tie to Hinduism and keep making excuses for Hinduism. And I know your comments like, oh, we don't behead people. Well, congratulations for that. Here's a medal again for not beheading people. Oh, Hinduism is a religion. It's not like Abrahamic religions. Hinduism tolerates atheism. Well, fuck that. I don't care that it tolerates Hinduism. It's still nonsense. It's still bullshit. It still needs to die. Okay, if somebody believes in leprechaun and they come and say like, hey, my belief in leprechaun is tolerant of atheists, that's not really an endorsement of believing in leprechauns. It's still nonsense to believe in leprechauns. So if you every time we attack an Hinduism, there's one guy that says like, oh, atheists criticizing Hinduism. Don't they know how tolerant Hinduism is of atheism?
Right.
We don't give a shit. Okay, that doesn't get you a win with us. Okay, your religion is bullshit. It's nonsense. It's barbaric. It needs to die, whether it's tolerant of atheists or not. GV is saying, do you send stories to Atheist Republic? Oh yeah. By the way, we have a new way. By the way, I saw that we have Shannon in the live chat. Shannon was in the live chat. By the way, Shannon, do you want to be a admin on our live chat? Because you would be a good admin. I just want to mention something. If the best way to get something covered on Atheist Republic, because we keep missing your suggestions, this is the foolproof way for you to get something covered on our podcast, on our YouTube, and our Facebook page. There's a Facebook group called Atheist Republic Video Reports. Okay, if you go to that Facebook group, if you record yourself talking about something, your opinion, as long as the audio quality is good, as long as there's no music that could get us copyright strikes, as long as you don't say something that could get us a YouTube strike, or like if you could have edgy views as well that we disagree with, we'll post that. But not something as extreme that YouTube would be like, yep, nope, let's just get rid of this channel. Okay, so don't make it too edgy, but you could just take your phone, record yourself 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes talking about your opinion about something. If you're an atheist or a Hindu in India, for example, you want to counter everything that we said, disagree with us, just record yourself in a video, post it in that group, and we'll publish it on our YouTube channel, on our podcast, and on our Facebook page. That's the group. If you really want to if there's so many people, for example, that need help, need attention. People are refugees, people that are in danger. We get shit ton of emails. We miss a lot of them.
Unfortunately.
So if you really want to bring attention to something, just talk about it to your phone. Just record yourself talking to on a phone and just post it. You could just do all of this on your phone. Post it in that group. We'll get it on our YouTube page. Okay, that's how you could get a story or an opinion on Atheist Republic. Again, the Facebook group's name is Atheist Republic Video Reports. Just search for that on Facebook and join that and post it there. Okay. Another godless atheist is saying you need a live call in show. Just saying. Well, okay. We can do that. Doorknob, well, we have to find out how to do that, the technical aspects of it before
Yeah.
Doorknob is saying live call in show. Just think of all the wonderful accents we might hear. Actually, well, we kind of do that already, but not live. Like another way, if you don't want to send us a video, but you just want to send us an audio, for it to get on our podcast, there's another option for that, is to go on atheistrepublic.com. There's a green button on the homepage there. You can press that. You can record your video. when it asks for your name and email, if you want to keep it anonymous, you don't. It says optional. You don't have to give your name and email, and you can send us the audio there, and that will make it on our podcast as well. So don't tell us that we're not paying attention to your emails or to the stories that you want us covered, because we have given you. These are the ways for your opinions and your videos or any story that you want to get more attention. These are the ways. These will not get ignored. If it does get ignored, it's because we couldn't hear what you were saying, or the audio quality is shit, or your comment is so edgy that we will lose our Facebook page if we post it. GV is saying video report. Yeah, Atheist Republic video report. GV, thank you for posting that right there. All right, thank you everybody. That was our last news. Really appreciate you guys commenting. Thank you for correcting us. Renzo is always here to. Renzo makes makes us always question what we're saying, and he does it very effectively because he's very analytical about the way he has corrected so many things that we made that. Sometimes we made a mistake. Sometimes he was right. Sometimes I wasn't convinced, but I appreciate that his counter arguments are there. So thank you. The live chat makes this whole experience a lot better, right? Take everything we say with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything 100%. Just consider another alternative. We might be wrong about our opinions. Be skeptical, not just about what we say, but about everything else that you see online. Research it. You don't even if after research you have more evidence for what you want to believe in at the end. Don't hold that with 100% certainty. Always be ready to let go of what you believe in for something else that makes more sense. B just saying thank you, Ali and Armin, and all the chatters. Mars, Bahin, I think, Chris, the two Chris's, B, GV, Doubting Thomas, Belinda, who else? Everybody else that I might have missed. Another godless heathen. Yeah, everybody. Oh, Doorknob Head, John Brown, Lee Dugan, everybody else. Love you guys and see you guys again next
week.